Hey guys, welcome back. So obviously we've had a lot of giveaways going on and we haven't dropped really any real content. The only real content we dropped recently was the opening of that Vivid Voltage booster box. On top of that, if you are someone who uses the code cards, make sure you watch those videos because we put the code cards in the videos now. Granted, they may have already been used by now. I think code cards are one-time use, but we did pull VMAX Pikachu um, in that video. So I don't know how code cards work exactly if you get all the cards that were in that pack, but if that is how it works and you do want to get a VMAX Pikachu, go check out our Vivid Voltage not booster box, booster box opening. Um, if you're new to the series, some people, and to those who aren't, already know what's about to happen. This is our PSA Guess the Grades. This is where we send in 20 PSA cards at a time. Granted, because of the holdup all the holidays and we're a little bit nervous about sending stuff in the mail, we're building up a gigantic order to send at once. So without further ado, we're going to go ahead and start. Also, if you're new, go ahead and guess the grades and the comments for each card. You can either do it one comment at a time or all at once. Make sure you're specific because sometimes we'll do a Japanese of the same card and an English of the same card all in the same video. Because we do have guess the grades, we do try and make sure we don't do like 3 of the exact same cards, English, stuff like that. So make sure you're specific. Sometimes they'll be shadowless, sometimes they won't, but it will all be the same card, but it won't be... Most of you get what I'm saying already. Like we won't have like 3 base set 1 Charizards, but we might have a base set Charizard and a base set Shadowless Charizard. So make sure when you guess the grade, you put down specifically which one you're guessing for. Why you guess the grades? Well, for the fun of it, and 2, we don't do a giveaway for every card, but if we see someone guess the grade correctly, and the first person who happened to be the one that guessed the grade correctly of a certain card, we might do a giveaway for. We're known for doing giveaways, but we're also known for investments and things like that. Hold on, the stack is going to fall over. Don't want that to happen. So we're known for doing giveaways and investments and stuff. So sorry. Let's go ahead and start. You'll figure it out. We'll talk as we go. So I'm not going to pull every last card out of its penny sleeve. I'll pull them out of their top loaders. Why I'm not pulling them all out of their penny sleeves, we can mostly see the card for the most part. So this is a Mega Rayquaza. So some of you might be like, hey, don't bother sending this in. It's too new of a card. But that's kind of the point. So, sure, this won't be an instant payout. Oh, there's an itty-bitty thing of dirt in there. I don't want it to damage the card. So this won't be an instant payout, per se, because newer cards... so there's some whiting on the edge. Possibly they'll pass that by. We'll see. Oh, there's more than one. Dang. Oh, well. Still a decently good card. A little bit of whiting here and there. Very tiny. Maybe I will pull this out just so people can get a better view at the back. Because we're playing Guess the Grades, everybody. So the whiting's a little bit more apparent. It's nearly impossible once I put it over a white background. But as I bring it up here, some of that's not really whiting. It's just how the edge of the card was made. There's a difference between whiting and how the edge folds. Whiting is damage to the card. How the edge folds is, how the card was made. I know I'm going to do it in between. I'm going to guess 8 to 10. And so as I was saying, some people will say, hey, there's no point in sending it in. It's too new of a card. Granted. However, what we'll do, since it's a fairly fresh card, I don't think that was a pack pull by me as far as I'm aware of. I think I got that from a purchase. But what we're shooting for is a future investment. Once it's sealed in PSA, as long as the case isn't really damaged or cracked, the value doesn't drop. It can only go up from that point on. So this one isn't super collected, but it's a Delmise V, and it's a kind of cool card, I don't really like how that they did this era of Pokemon, to where like inanimate objects are Pokemon. That's a very Digimon thing to do. Huge off-centering. For the most part, though, the card's in pretty good condition. I'm just going to guess 9. See, there's nothing really else going on with it. It looks like there's an eyelash. Yeah, so I would guess 9. And you guys are very well allowed to guess the same guesses I'm doing. Granted, I'm in person, so you may want to take my word for it. And we're still waiting for our cards that the PSA received back in August. So, Yeah, that was like supposed to be a 40-day business turnaround. We're now in December, and they're still only at the grading part, and there's still like 6 more steps after that. So, yeah, even though we're playing Guess the Grades, the Guess the Grades video probably won't be out till another 2 3 years when we finally get the cards from the PSA. So, got this Doug Trio. I do not know which version of Pokemon this is. I can eventually find it when I have to do the typing up of this card into the PSA system. This is one of my favorite versions, though. I have a few cards that are like this. I had a Magneton that was like this. It looks like there's some scratches on the holofoil. I'll pull it out and we'll check. Yeah, very, very, very minor scratches. I don't think they're on grade too hard. It's pretty mirror finish for the most part. The front looks pretty good. There's nothing really crazy going on. The centering's pretty good. The back centering's pretty decent. There's a little bit of whiting. I would say 8 to 10. And granted, I know a 10 is not supposed to have any damage or issues, but the PSA, it's how they label it, but really, it's a superb card. I'm having a hard time with that word, and it's possible to get a 10 even with some minor defects, and we're still trying to figure out what that limitation is. So okay, we got a Misty Seedra pre-release. Let's see. I am going to pull this one a little bit more out because I see some issues going on with the holo. I just want to make sure it's the card and not the thing it's in. Dang, I'm having a hard time. See, I'm trying to be really careful not to damage the card at all either. So there is a ton of micro scratches. That's rough. That's rough to see. I don't know how hard they're going to grade on that. There's no deep scratches, but there's a ton of micro scratches. The centering's not great. It's like off all over the place, which I guess you could like, you know, it's pretty common with the pre-release cards back in the day. They just wanted to get them out for the events. You know, I think nowadays they take pre-release cards a little bit more seriously. The back's in great condition. Oh, no, dang. Oof. That's rougher than I thought. I'm going to guess 7. That's probably a little high. But we're on guess 7. Now, the only reason why I'm doing these ones, and this one I am going to pull out because you won't be able to see the back of it. The reason why I'm doing my Raikyuos, I know that they're not really actually heavily that collected. For some reason, this legendary dog never really seemed to picked up in traction. Wow, he is heavy. He is bigger than Charizard. He is taller and heavier than Charizard. I never knew that about Raikou. This card's in really, really good condition. Doesn't look like it was ever played. I don't think people like playing. Oh, there's a little nick, but I don't think that's from playing, but it is damaged. Centering's a little off on the back. I guess 8 to 9. He's in really good condition. I would say 8 to 10, but that whiting on the side is pretty rough. And his centering isn't perfect on the back, so I'd say 8 to 9. And the reason why I'm doing the Raikuos is because I only had like 3 or 4 of them on my table, and so he was taking up a card slot. I really just like to get him out of here. This one's really cool to me, and I don't know if this counts as a bleed. I don't think it does, because it looks like it's intentional how it's literally all over the card. And there's a swirl down in the text. I don't know if this counts as a bleed. I have to look these cards up. It's literally all over the card. But I know Pokemon has ran around and done various things in terms of like how they want their holos to look different than their other sets. Now, for the most part, this card's in really good condition, which is nice. And if that is a bleed, that's even better. You know, that's awesome if it's a bleed unintentionally. The back is pretty clean. A little bit miscentering, but oh, I guess if I hold it right, dang, there is a mega crease in that top left corner. That makes things really rough. You see, perfectly fine there, mega crease top left corner. That's why you gotta do all the different hits of lighting. Man, I was gonna say 8 to 9. Now I don't know, because I don't know how hard they grade against a crease like that. Oh man, that is rough to see. That is super rough to see. Oh, let's hope that the bleed is a factory misprint to make up for it. Oh, I don't even even know what to guess on that one. Oh, I'd say 8's high. I'm going to do a 2-number guess. I'm going to do 6 to 8. Okay, one more last Raikou. I am tracking this one as German. This one is actually from my actual collection as a kid. He should score pretty high. I don't think I ever played him. I could be wrong. Oh, so clearly I did. There's some whiting on the back. He's got some thick borders though, but they're all even. Dang, if it wasn't for the whiting, I'd probably say 10. It's a lot of whiting though. Like, I'd probably just say flat 8. Hope for the best. Yeah, I know, it'd be nice if it was hollow and in English and, you know, no whiting. Because that's actually really good centering, it's just thick. Alright, now I'm moving on to a different one. Moving on to Team Rocket Machamp, or I guess Dark Machamp, Japanese. Rarity symbol still there. He looks pretty good. I think there's a little corner bend right there. It's really hard to tell. Back looks solid. A little whiting there. I'm gonna say 9 to 10 and see what happens. I mean, you don't send in your guesses to the PSA. This is just us playing the game. This one's decent. This is a shadowless Machamp. I can't tell if it's from the sleeve or if it's him. He's got some scratches in his hollow foil. Nothing too nuts. I don't think his centering's too bad. I've never been a good judge of centering though. Now I do know that there is some whiting along the edge. Kind of makes it really rough. I'm gonna guess. Oh, I wish it was higher. I'm gonna guess 6 to 7. We've been wrong in the past, in a good way. So we're gonna guess 6 to 7. Now here's what's funny to me, and I'm only going to do this just, you know, you're about to see the difference. I have seen like people label things thick stamps. Now, I don't know what qualifies as a thick stamp besides I've heard of on Bubblepedia, you can start to see it like through the back apparently. But whenever I see people label thick stamps on eBay, they like never show you the back. They just show you this, and like this to me just looks like a standard first edition stamp. The reason why I bring this up, because the next Machamp, and I only happened to notice it while I was doing this video, is a gray stamp. Now that's very clearly different. You've got your gray stamp and your normal stamp. Thick stamp's supposed to be through the back. I have yet to see that yet, and on eBay, they don't tend to show you the back. So I don't know what people are counting as a thick stamp. Now the gray stamp though is 100% apparent to me, and I do hope that the PSA lets me label it on the label within the PSA card as gray stamp, because this is a gray stamp for sure. And you know, just again, there's the gray stamp and there's the what I would consider a standard. So gray stamp, it's subtle as many misprints are, but that is 100% a gray stamp. Now it would have been awesome if this was a shadowless gray stamp Machamp, but it's a gray stamp nevertheless. So a little bit of beat up on the edge there. Centering's definitely off around the border, but really it's in decent condition. I'm just going to guess a flat 8 and see how that goes. And I really hope they'll let me label that as gray stamps. That's really going to make up for it. This is a Dark Charizard. There's nothing really special about him though. He's not hollow. He's not first edition, and as far as I'm aware of, this isn't the misprint one. I think the misprint one is 4 out of 82, something like that. He's a little bit beat up. He's not perfect, that's for certain. Centering's kind of off. I think I'm whiting there. I'm going to guess 8 to 9. 9's probably high. 8's probably on the money. I'll be really surprised if he gets below an 8. And really, guys, so like, I know I've got some numbers that I'm guessing below 8. And I've said this in other videos, and other PokeTubers will tell you the same thing. It's usually not worth it to send in a card if it's going to get below an 8, depending on what the card is. But that factor kind of remains true. Why do we still do it? One, it's a risk. We're hoping we'll get above what we guess, you know, above 6s and 7s. We want it to get 8s to 10s. But the other reason why we do it is because there's still a limitation to how many cards there are in the world. And over time, there's less and less. People still happen to accidentally break them or lose them in house fires or floods, or kids break them, kids steal them, they get stolen, they get smashed, they get destroyed. Things happen. So that's what makes it a collectible. There's a limited run, people liked it, and there's a demand. So that's how that works. This next one we have to pull all the way out because the back will be covered. So it is a non-hollow Dark Blastoise. It's not really dirt, it's just a little stain from whoever owned this card. In pretty decent condition. Front looked pretty good. Not perfect centering, but pretty good. Tiny bits of whiting. Some stains. Ooh, there's more whiting on the bottom though. We're going to guess 8 to 9. And like, that wouldn't be too hard of a burden to bear if it was hollow. 8 to 9 hollow on a Dark Blastoise is pretty good. 8 to 9 on a non-hollow, not fantastic. You really need that 9 to 10 for your non-hollows. Now this next card, I'm pretty excited about for 2 reasons. One, it's super collectible, hard to find. I'm just waiting for the demand to pick up. And 2, I'm pretty certain this one's a 10. So if you don't know, this is the original fossil Japanese Mew. There's the promo versions of them, but really the one you want is the fossil version. And if you see a fossil English Mew, walk away, it's fake. There is the promo version that's in English, but the fossil hollow is what you want. And I don't know what we can count that as. Look at that on his forehead. He's got a Pokeball on his forehead. That is a misprint. This is a misprint original fossil Mew. You can see it. Look. He's got a misprint on his head. I don't think this is going to be like a 1 of 1 card. I didn't even notice this till now. Oh my god. I have no idea how much this guy is going to be worth. That is a misprint, 100%. That is a misprint on an original fossil hollow Mew. That's dope. I have to write that down. Misprint on forehead. I have no idea how much that's going to be worth. It doesn't seem like a big deal, but he's already super collectible being what he is. He looks like he's in perfect condition. So he's going to be like a PSA 10, that's my guess. Oh, is that a stain? What is that? Oh, that's just something in the top loader. I gotta get that out. Yeah, you don't want to have debris in your top loader if you can help it. I'm just going to guess 10. And on top of that, he is a misprint. That is... Oh my goodness. That's nuts. That's nuts. I'm sorry, I just now saw that and I'm cheesing over it. Dang, I don't want this debris in there. Oh, he should be good. It's all on the outside of the penny sleeve. Oh my god. I have to try and do research. I don't think that exists. I don't think that exists. Oh, I'm trying not to damage him at all. That looks like a PSA 10 misprint right on the head. Even from a distance, you can see it. Wow, that's nuts. That's nuts. Oh, man. Oh, my goodness. 10. I got misprint label on the side. You can see it to remind me. Sorry, I need a breather. Jeez, that's insane. Okay, so this next one was going to be a big deal as well, but in comparison to that, that's nothing. Oh my god. Well, this is nothing. So, this one we got for a fairly good deal with a set of cards, as we try and do with all of our cards. He's got some scratches. This is kind of the if part. This denting up here is really deep and rough. He's also not very centered very well. And then there's some whiting on the back to include the dents from the front. We were hoping originally from the pictures we were getting he'd be an 8. It is hard to tell because of those heavy dents. It's a shadowless Venusaur, so an 8 would be nice. Oh, but I gotta be a little realistic. I'm gonna say 7. That really does drop the value in that card drastically, but gotta be realistic, folks. I may have to send in that Mew as a whole separate order. I have no idea how much that Mew is worth. That Mew is almost 100% a PSA 10, and it has a misprint. I know I'm stuck on that, folks. I usually title these videos more cards to the PSA. I'm probably going to title this video Misprint Original Fossil Mew. That's nuts. That's nuts. Oh my god, that's nuts. So this next card, this one isn't from my collection. This one was also from the same seller, and luckily, you know, when I was buying from him, because he was really good negotiator. I really enjoyed that. He had a price up front. I don't know if this counts as hollow because they didn't do this for every metal type card like nowadays. Like here's an example. Here's one from Vivid Voltage. Not that shiny-ish sort of background, but they did it for this one. So I don't know if he counts as hollow. Technically, he doesn't. Now, I didn't realize this was apparently a misprint because I had only ever seen him like that because I have this one in my collection as well. But apparently it's a misprint. But I guess it's one of those common misprints, like how Vulpix is a misprint from base set where the HP is before the number instead of after. So I don't know what he really counts as a rarity, but apparently his buddy owns a card shop, and they said, no, you should definitely send that in as a misprint. It is a sought after card. So and this one looks like to be in really, really, really good condition. There is a solid whiting dump bump there. I'm going to guess 8 to... I'm going to say 8 to 10, but I really doubt it. Like in the 10 realm. It's closer to the 9 realm. But we'll see. I hate when debris gets into... Like, the whole point of the sleeves is to prevent damage. And then debris gets into it and causes more damage. This is a pretty cool card. The reason why... One, I always thought Porygon was neat. But like what's cool about this card that I didn't notice for a while is there's like blueprints to building Porygon in the back. Not really build him, but like analyzing him, and it's like Earth or something. So yeah, Porygon's always been cool to me. It's great swirl. It's a Japanese version. This is Porygon 2. He looks to be in really good condition. I think those scratches aren't on the hollow foil. I think that's on the sleeve. Pretty mirror, in my opinion. I don't see any damage there. The back looks super clean. I'm going to guess 10. I'm just going to say straight 10 for him, which would be nice. So we're going to say 10. And then moving on. So this one I found out by watching another PokeTuber. These are really hard to get in 10s because of, one, it being the original material that they used for hollow foil, which was super easy to scratch up. And you can see there's already scratches on it, so it can't be a 10. Oh, I never noticed that. It has the R in the shadow. That's awesome. I never noticed that. So yeah, this one's really hard getting a 10. So getting him in a 10, because there's low population, makes him worth a lot. So this one's definitely not a 10. There's some damage here and there. I'd say 8. Just the hollow foil damage. I'd say 8. I think he's still worth sending in. So even the ones that are instantly going to be worth money, I'm probably going to hold on to a lot of these. I know, for those who have been on my channel for a while and have seen how many cards I have, I definitely have the appearance of a collector. But even collectors are investors. Not really a collector. I'm not super attached to these too much. I definitely enjoy getting to open the packs. I love playing that game sense. I did like playing the game as a kid. If I had a bunch of beat up cards that were considered playable instead of marked, I'd probably put a deck together and play. I wouldn't mind. I'd probably lose a lot though for a while, but I'm a pretty decent tactician and strategist, so I'd probably come around and start winning. I've even talked about doing a deck build, but there's a lot of cards. I don't want to give anyone bad advice. I'd really have to play it quite a bit to do something like that. Moving on. This one's in better condition, which is great, because this one's in English. So Dark Magneton again. I'm gonna pull this one out. Tons of spots, but yeah, there's a ton of micro scratches. So just this material is just so prone to scratches, and that's why older cards are just worth a lot. Let me see something, by the way. Okay, so that's supposed to. That's weird that there's spots. Wow, there's like 3 swirls on top of each other. But that's weird that there's spots on the shadow. I don't know if it was supposed to do that. Huh. I'll have to compare some later, actually. I'm going to write misprint bleed shadow and compare it to some others. Not everything I write down is a misprint. That Mew, though, is 100% a misprint. That Mew is 100% a misprint. That is nuts. That is a ton of swirls all on top of each other. So yeah, you can see why it's really hard to get this guy in 10. He has a very, very shiny mirror finish. Like, that's how it's supposed to look as a 10. Not like that. And so it's just a really easy material to scratch. Plus his back is a little beat up. But yeah, his hollow foil is really hard to get perfectly. And I think there's only like 1 to 2 known PSA 10s for him. I guess 8. See how that goes. Now, as I've talked about investing, I've brought this up before. I'm going to say it again. I'm doing it as a proof of point. Break cards are really good right now to get graded. Most of them are in unplayed condition, as people don't like them. They're apparently not very strategic. People don't like how they look hollow foil wise. They think it's overdone, which to me is funny because I think rainbow is overdone. And that's not because I don't have any. I have rainbow cards. I don't have super extreme ones. Like, I don't think I have any rainbow Charizards. I did have a rainbow tag team. Is it Reshiram and Charizard's one of the big ones that people like? I did have that, but I sold it ungraded. I should have gotten it graded. Would have been like a PSA 9. These cards, they did have a small spike. I think they went back down. You can buy them pretty much in mint condition, $4 a card. That seems a little high, I guess. In terms of if they are truly mint and you get them graded and they come back PSA 9 to 10, PSA 10s instantly sell asking price $100, depending on which one. What I'm getting at, hold on to them, and in a short period of time, you're looking at $200, $300, maybe even $1,000 a card. Specifically, try and get ones that were the original Pokemon, like Raichu and Ninetales and Machamp and Lugia and stuff like that. Not the newer ones, but try and get these. I would guess a 9 for him. There was some whiting on the sides. I'm going to say 9 to 10. The issue is I have a hard time trying to figure out what to see on the front. And this one isn't a misprint. It's supposed to be, this is how it would be, and then if you were to flip it up like this, that is how it's supposed to go. However, that is a common misprint to where the ball was inverted on these cards. But yeah, a lot of people didn't like these, so you can get them for fairly cheap and really good condition and get them graded. I said 9 to 10 for that Raichu. Of course, I have a hard time trying to see what's on the front of these necessarily for damage and scratches, because I've seen some cards I've had come back. Like I had a shiny, is it Shiny GX Charizard, the one that's really popular, that's from, is it Hidden Fates? It was a 9. I couldn't see any damage on it, so I was really surprised. Like, there's some minor scratches. They're super minor, but other than that, I just don't know. And then tiny bits of whiting. Little bit off-centering. I'm going to say 9 to 10 as well. So that is this set of 20 folks that we are adding to our thing to prepare to send in. I hope you enjoyed this video. If anyone has any idea how much a misprint original fossil Japanese Mew is worth, please let me know, and please send me your source, because that could be worth some pretty serious money. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed. I really hope that was a major highlight. That was a major highlight for me. And have a great day. Thanks. Bye.